Welcome to the Pocket Desktop tutorial to use your Pocket Desktop on a Macintosh-based system. First thing you need to do for a Macintosh-based system in order to use Pocket Desktop is to set the Macintosh up to boot from the Pocket Desktop disk. First step on that is to go down to your dock, or possibly your application folders, depending on where it's located, and find your System's Preference icon. Click on System's Preference icon. Next, you want to go to your startup disk. This will be located under the Systems section of your startup icon. Click on Systems disk. You want to select your Macintosh OS HDD, and then you want to hit the button that says Restart. When you see this indication, say Restart. Right now, we're restarting your Macintosh. The purpose of this is to set your Macintosh up into legacy boot. Remember, the Pocket Desktop disk boots in two modes on Macintosh. One is EFI, and the other is legacy. Of course, it's impossible for us to know which system you have, so we ask that each system be initialized to boot in legacy. And if your system only boots in EFI, the drive will automatically do that. This will only take a few seconds. In a moment, you'll return to your normal desktop in the Macintosh, and I will then show you how to load the Pocket Desktop in your Macintosh-based system. Okay, we've now returned to the Macintosh desktop. Locate the Secure OS disk. That icon should appear on the Macintosh desktop and should have a PD on it. Double click. You'll note that the files that are available is PD start. Please double click on PD start. Macintosh will ask you for a password. This is not a password on the drive, but the admin password for your Macintosh. Macintosh requires that a user put in the administrative password in order to run an executable from an external disk. Please put in your administrative password at this time. This is not the password of your drive. This is the Macintosh password. At this time, the Pocket Desktop will load two icons, one application, one boot. This may take a second or two depending on your system. At this time, as you can see, we have two icons. And depending on how your Macintosh is set up, the icons may be viewed different ways. One is application, one is boot. Let's click on application. You'll notice that application will add it to your dock temporarily as that application is running. It will now load the application, which has a subset of icons. This subset of icons will allow you to access files on the Macintosh, set up a password so you can password protect your disk, go to your help file, play a video, or print. These are the choices you have. Please shut this from File Finder. I'm now going to show you how to boot on your Macintosh system. In order to boot, all you have to do is put the pointer over the top of boot and double click. Ensure that all documents have been closed and that all files have been saved, as this system will shut down and you may possibly lose work that has not been saved. Once again, please make sure that all documents are saved. Double click on boot. Do not be alarmed, this will shut down your Macintosh system and reboot it from the USB Pocket Desktop device. This may take a minute or two depending on your device, on your system, and the speed. The system is now shutting down. The next screen you see should be Pocket Desktop loading. This may take a few seconds. You should observe a red flashing light on the drive to show you that this system is still working. Pocket Desktop loading. This will be replaced by a status bar that should tell you the percent of completion of load is. This loading time will vary. Remember that this disk is loading an operating system from a USB drive, which loads approximately 5.5 megabits per second. This may take a minute or two to fully load the operating system, depending on the speed of transfer. The screen is blank. It's now going to the load screen. As I said before, this may take a minute or two. The next screen you should go to should show a pointer in the center of a, a, a dark screen, which will be loading the Secure Pocket Desktop. See the circle? As the circle disappears, a pointer will reappear, and eventually the Pocket Desktop will load. Important points to bring up concerning your Pocket Desktop for your initial configuration to be used is to understand how to get a wireless network connection or wired network connection. So the first step is to go down to the taskbar at the very bottom and click on the dual computers. If you click on the dual computers, it will list all of the available wireless networks and wired networks available to you. And it'll allow you to select the appropriate network. In this particular case, we've selected a network local to us. Now it's going to ask you to place in the web code. Once it is authenticated to web code, you will then have access to the network. You can see that by this indicator down here that it's currently. When you see the bars across the bottom, that indicates you have a connection. Now to test this connection, we are going to double click on the Firefox browser window. Firefox should come up under the Google homepage, which it does. We now have a network connection. In order to shut Firefox, please just go to the top right-hand corner and click on the X. Next thing we want to demonstrate is audio. Audio is important. You want to click one time on the audio. You notice that the slide bar is all the way to the top. If this was clicked red, as you see here, it would be muted. To unmute it, click it one time. In order to access the mixer, which also may affect your audio content, please double click on the speaker. This will place the mixer in the top right-hand corner. Note that it is fully up. Note that there's a number of devices because your system may have more than one connected audio device. Please unmute each of these devices. Push the slide bar all the way to the full top position as to ensure that there is no interruption in audio. Then shut your audio mixer down. Last but not least, it's very important to understand that this desktop represents an exact mirror of a Linux-based desktop as you have from Pocket Desktop. This is not your Macintosh desktop, though you do have file access to all of your Macintosh desktop files under Macintosh HD. This will give you the opportunity to open any file that you have currently on your Macintosh, edit, view, or look at those files from your Pocket Desktop computer. And as you can see, all the files from your desktop are currently there. This concludes our tutorial to booting on the Macintosh desktop, the Pocket Desktop. I'm now going to go to Pocket Desktop at the bottom of the taskbar. I'm going to select Shutdown, and I'm going to select Restart. And I'll restore your desktop back to its normal position on top of your Macintosh desktop. This is it. Thank you.